Do you encounter many people who are fearful of hypnotherapy? And can you tell us what the most common fears are and how you get around that?
Of course. I mean, anything with the word hypno in it is going to frighten some people because of the media, the way that it's portrayed in media. If you go right back to like films with Svengali in it and people like that, and books, and then of course you've got in the popular kind of culture, you can sing, Elvis Presley, whatever it is. Of course, that doesn't really help the image because that's not hypnotherapy. That's hypno entertainment. So because it's got the word hypno in it, it confuses people in that sense. Yeah, and people kind of worry about, will I be hypnotised? Will I say things that I don't want to say? Will I reveal some dreadful secret? Or even they worry that they may find out something about themselves that they don't want to find out,
and that they're going to lose control.
Yeah, and it's not like that at all. It's actually a very benign thing. You're in control. You at any point you can just stand up and walk away if you wish to.
So you're not going to turn me into a chicken?
No.
Even if I want to.
If you want to be a chicken, you can be a chicken.
No, I don't. I was a chicken before I came in to do the show tonight, but you heard my motivational music I played earlier. I'm all right. I think a lot of people, when you just down the pub when people are talking about hypnotherapy, you often get people say, "Oh, I don't think I could be hypnotised."
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, that, because in fact, if you don't want to be hypnotised, you won't be. That's for certain. I've never managed to hypnotise anybody who didn't want to be. But there is an interesting kind of side thing to that, which is that if you're very resistant to hypnotism, in a way, you're already kind of concentrating on something inside yourself. And you're kind of thinking, I won't be hypnotised, I won't be hypnotised. So in a sense, you are hypnotised because you're thinking about that.
But also, I think there's a lot of impressions from the Victorian era. That watch, what's that all about? Yeah,
the watch actually comes from what's his name? I can't remember the actual name of it. It was a Scottish eye doctor. And he was using a watch for some reason to test whether people's eyes moved in the right way or something like that, and he noticed they became sleepy. And he was interested in hypnotism, and so that's where the popular image of the watch comes from.
So is it what is a trance state? Is a trance state what you are in to be hypnotised, or is that part of being hypnotised?
I think that a good way to imagine it is that it's not some weird thing where you suddenly become like a zombie and asleep. It's not like that. If you can imagine watching a film or listening indeed to a piece of music or something like that and getting really absorbed in it to the point that you're kind of, sometimes you can get really absorbed in a film and you're really, really kind of following it and you're following the story and thinking about what it all means. It is possible that somebody could kind of walk into the room and sit down and you might not notice because you're so absorbed in the film. Or you may be maybe watching a fire and the fire is kind of glowing and you kind of go into a bit of a daydream and you kind of suddenly find that your eyes are wide and you've kind of gone into a bit of a blank.
Is that why men like sitting around staring at campfires?
Very possibly. Well, and with a story being told to them at the same time. And I think, so that's really, you may have already been in a trance today for all I know.
Well, this is it. If I'm thinking about something and someone's talking to me and I haven't heard a word they've said and I'm like, I didn't hear any of that. And they're like, I was just talking to you, but I was somewhere else. Have I slipped naturally into a trance state then? Absolutely.
That could, we do it a lot. Sometimes just for very short periods of time. Sometimes for longer periods of time. At night, when you're in between kind of wakefulness and sleep, there's that kind of strange transitional period. Yeah, people go into trances. There's other types of trance as well, like there's the uptime trance, which people get in when they're jogging, for example, or doing something repetitive, and and you're actually very kind of focused on that thing, or playing a musical instrument or something like that. Those are called uptime trances. Sorry, that's my stomach going.
So with the uptime trance and these sort of very subtle changes, is this something that when you train to be a hypnotherapist, you have to learn about all the various stages and how you can tell someone's in a trance by just looking at them? Are there ways that you can tell that someone's already gone into a trance state, apart from the fact they're clearly not listening?
Well, yeah, there are certain things. in my practice, what you'd see is that the face kind of starts to go blanker and blanker, actually. And they start to breathe more slowly. And sometimes you get other signs like little tremors of the hands sometimes, or their mouth will go a bit slack. You get the occasional dribble.
So it sounds like a very relaxing, very pleasant sort of state. Yeah.